name's Dee and welcome to Untitled Tarot. Now this is a general reading for your star sign, for Sun, Moon or Rising. As it's detailed in the title, it's a bulk introduction for all 12. So as ever, there will be a time signature down below, so you can skip ahead to the reading because you really want to watch 3 of them if you can. Sun sign, obviously. And moon sign is highly relevant, especially with this being a lunar eclipse. And your rising sign was the most important sign in ancient astrology, so that's one to go for as well. If you're not familiar with what your moon and rising sign is, there is a link in the chart below. I'm not going to spend too much on the astrology of this lunar eclipse, apart from it's 2020. It's big, because of course it is. It's 2020. And I've also done a video with astrologer David Fisher, which you should find a link to that down below as well. As for other housekeeping about links down below, there's also a link to the Facebook page for this channel where you can contact me directly if you're wanting me for a personal reading. Plus I post all of these videos and I post all the astrology videos that I'm watching, the weather report style readings. So general reading rules apply. You know, this time is hardly absolute. With a lunar eclipse, they say it can last up to 3 months, sometimes a month before and 2 months afterwards. With a solar eclipse, which of course we're having in 2 weeks, then that can be more of a 6-month cycle. So, you know, take that under advisement as you're listening to the reading. It's a full moon gods at play reading, obviously, because that's what I do for the full moon. So by their very nature, they are dramatic. That's the whole design of the reading. I'll discuss that more when I bring the cards up. But first, I just want to spend a moment looking at the symbols of the degrees where this full moon is taking place. So it's occurring at 9:29 a.m. GMT. So amend that time for your time difference from GMT, for your time zone, sorry, I should say. At 8 degrees 37 minutes of Gemini. So in terms of the symbol, that is the 9th degree of Gemini. So if we look at the inside degrees, for the actual moon itself, we have wildflowers growing around the ruins of a temple. Now the interpretation of this is really nice. Catching a second wind, taking a booster rocket from one cycle to another, one lifetime to another, or one whole stage in evolution to another. Now that sounds great, phenomenal. And we could certainly use that with everything that's been going on. So, shot out of a cannon to discover the next great thing. You are wildly attentive to signs and portents, looking for a way to the future. Well, you're watching this, aren't you? So, coming out of immense soul experience with flying colours leaping forth into the new. Enthusiastic, naive and impressionable, eager for 1,000 universes to come true. Now, there's a really interesting point. We have Neptune stationing during this full moon. So at the same time, it is squaring the nodes. So the power of the future is causing a tension with your dreams. So you may be forced closer towards the truth, you know, an objective truth, whatever that is, or even further into your dreams, where really you want to try to balance reality in your dreams. The whole idea of a square is that you find a creative solution using both aspects of that, both ends, like using Neptune and the North Node, using how you're setting your future with your dreams. Anyway, to continue the symbol, enthusiastic, naive and impressionable. I already said that, didn't I? You feel the ultimate springtime quality of fresh immediacy and wind-blown alacrity, just sensing all through body and soul, the possibilities, the openings, what wants to happen next. A destiny bearer, universal in spirit and in the right place at the right time for the remarkable synchronicities and huge turnarounds. That offers a lot of hope. But then again, it could, with it being the eclipse, this is the That's the image of the degree that is being obscured, where the moon is going into this degree and then all light from the moon disappears. So that's the ideal use of this degree. But there's a double edge to that, that unless you're really making the effort, you won't get to use the power of that degree, because the moon obviously is eclipsed. But the good news is it's only a partial eclipse, so you do still get some light from the moon, so you do still get some of the energy from this degree. But what was interesting is the opposing degree, 8 degrees Sagittarius. I'll come back when I can learn to speak. Where the sun is shining and is casting its light, the light that is partially obscured by the shadow of the earth when it hits the moon. So we have, for inside degrees, a man with green skin. He is dressed with leaves. Playful, exuberant, spontaneous and elusive, you are restless under constraint, with all of civilization representing constraint. You're desperate to be free. When not held down, you have spectacular abilities and affinities, but when bound by time, you become abrasive and provoking. Temperamental in extreme ways, aching for free movement in a vast territory, drawn to every extreme that exists. Here we see again that power of Neptune being stationary. It actually turns stationary on the, well, becomes stationary, I should say, on the day of the full moon. The body and soul of one who can never be identified, tamed or narrowed. You are the one who knows how deep the earth is, surging with volatile currents, and these bear all hope and promise if they are followed with open arms. The one who shows everybody what life is like when it lets itself go and contagiously ripples, with permission and encouragement for each and all to come out and play and explore the far edges, and even perhaps over those edges into the greater wilderness, claiming the allegiance of those whose wildness is no passing whim, but the only viable way. So again, we've got that double edge. We've got that power of Neptune going on. Are you going to dive deeper into your echo chamber? Are you going to dream a better future? Are you going to be able to look at reality and make those dreams into reality and not just think that you're in those dreams? You know, there's all sorts of different levels here. This is very much a decision time. It's a preparatory time. We are coming up to the Great Conjunction, which, as I saw in one video going, well, it's only every 20 years, but it's part of a far larger cycle. The Saturn-Jupiter conjunction is the first time it's occurring in an air sign, and now for the next 200 years or so, it will be occurring in air signs. So we've got what's called a mutation, a great shift into air, a great shift into being more intellectual, more informed, and possibly a little less emotional, for good or for ill. You know, there's no one's going to say that there is anything wrong with emotions. They have their place. They are vital to how we function. But in the meantime, this is a house clearing time to sort out, hang on a minute, what am I wanting to achieve here, and what do I no longer need to achieve it? And that's definitely an empowered negative statement. What do I need to dispose of in order to achieve what I'm wanting to achieve? Now, this degree is ruled by, if I remember correctly, it's ruled by Rochelle, who is an angel all about restitution and finding lost objects. So again, there's the lost objects, not as the things that you're getting rid of, but the things that you are making space for. Now, opposing this, Yehuya, who I did not actually just draw the meaning up for. Let's see, Yehuya, where we got? So, Yehuya, now here's a good one. Revealing the dark side or subordination to higher order. Now, again, there's two ways. Considering we had that image all about rebellion and trying to find freedom, there's two ways you can see that higher order. Are we talking about a mundane higher order, a higher order that is existing here on the planet, or are we talking more to a more esoteric, spiritual submission to the higher order of the divine? And again, that choice is slowly being presented to us by each individual piece being brought up to our attention, each individual piece of our dreams, piece of our belief systems, piece of our day-to-day life, day-to-day practice being brought up to go, you know, do I really need this? And either answer is okay, but you have to ask the question. So either answer is like, no, I don't need this anymore. Its time has passed. That's fine. Or yes, this is essential for what I want to accomplish. This is essential for me being whom I want to be. And it will enable us to love our own process more, if that makes sense. And the reason I say that is ruling the decan that this eclipse is occurring in on the moon side is the goetic spirit Ammon. Certainly in the day it is Ammon, and at night it is Sabnok. So here for the northern hemisphere, well, if it's daytime and Ammon is ruling it wherever it is, and if it's nighttime it's Sabnok. So looking at Ammon is a goetic spirit who can be very much about love. Can be used or can be appealed to in love magic that gives aid in divination. So Ammon's energies can certainly help us try and see the future with a little bit more clarity. And this is interesting. Ammon gives aid in divination and helps the sorcerer get in touch with her true will. So it's not just my vision for the future, my dream for the future under all that Neptunian influence. It's going, hang on a minute, this dream I've got of the future, is this what I really want? Is it one of these, I think someone called them on a video I was watching recently, false beliefs? You know, because you get brought up to be told that you need to be a doctor or a lawyer, and if you're not those, then you're not good enough. Or that everybody needs the house and 2.5 kids and the car. Or, you know, all of these beliefs that are what society or family or whoever or the TV tells you that you want, when actually is, no, I want to ride on horseback on a ranch in the middle of nowhere. I want to spend my life hosting a YouTube channel. I want to spend my life living in the forest and caring for the forest. Or I really want to get involved in social work, tapestry, you know, knitting, you know, whatever it is that really floats your boat. You have to be able to say, yeah, hang on a minute, that floats your boat. I've been fighting for the past 10 years to save enough money to put a mortgage down on this house, and I don't even want to be a homeowner. I want to be free. I want to do what free people do. You know, there's really diving down to go, okay, I want the house and the car, or I don't want the house and the car. I want happiness. I want success in business. I want success in love. I want to make my friends' lives better, my clients' lives better. I want to paint things. You know, whatever it is that you want, just learning to be honest about what it is that you want and then going for it. Now, Sabnok, what have I got on Sabnok? Not a lot of information. Now, he builds high towers and castles and cities on the astral plane. So he's all about constructing. If you know anything about creative visualization, which is often covered under nowadays under like law of attraction. You visualize a situation, a condition, whatever it is that you're wanting to bring into being, and you visualize it so hard, is that the way to say it, that you are believing yourself in it and you are knowing that it is already real. That is building a castle on the astral plane, which is exactly what Sabnok is doing. So Amon is helping you identify what you want to build, or if the eclipse is happening during nighttime for you, Sabnok is helping you build the vision of it and therefore be calling that into your future. Assuming, of course, you're taking the advantage to, well, to clear out the stuff that you do not need. Now, there was another thing that I wanted to go back to, the 8 degrees Gemini symbols. Yes, the 8 degrees Gemini symbol for the the Omega symbol, a ruby growing in a laboratory, however you say it. So even though fake, but not fake, it's still a ruby. It's beautiful, it's crystalline, and I personally love red. I mean, I wear a lot of garnet. Ruby is actually, I prefer garnet to ruby, but ruby has such a depth and motion to it with that red color, with that red vibration of moving forward with things. But this is not so much about moving forward, this lunar eclipse. This is about preparing to move forward and knowing which way forward is. There's not much more that I want to say. Obviously, if this has been useful for you, like, share and subscribe. I'm sure I'll say that at the end of the reading as well. But also, now you can breathe a sigh of relief and press the timestamp thing, get to the readings. I'll bring the cards up for you. Okay, Leo, if you've seen these readings before, you're probably well aware that this top row of cards represents the masks that the archons wear to try and keep you suppressed, vibrating in misery and fear and away from your divine purpose. Whereas this bottom row are the gods themselves who are aiming to lift you up. Now, the cards that we have here, we start with the archons, and we have Osiris with renewal, Helen of Troy with beauty, Iostro with new beginnings, Diti with revenge, and Asclepius with healing. Bear in mind, this is the archons. These are, it is in their interest that you do not evolve, ascend, however you look at it. So this tells me a story of something new being dangled in front of you, something that looks beautiful, looks fantastic. Yes, this is the way. And in the process of doing that, you show them, whoever the them is. With DT and the revenge, there is that sense of this new start is offered as a way of getting one up on somebody, getting your revenge on somebody, hammering home your superiority, however you want to look at it. There's they did this to me and now I'm doing this, and so that shows them, and they're all generally not very positive emotions along those sort of lines. And it is offered to you as a form of healing. You'll feel better if you do this. This new beginning will be good for you. This new beginning will give you that healing that you require. It's really interesting with this full moon that's coming up. We've got Pluto, quintile Chiron. Pluto in Capricorn, quintile Chiron in Aries. So that in and of itself is indicating sort of the revelation of your own inner thoughts, feelings, wishes regarding something that has hurt you, and the urge to do something about it. And this is what's being played on here. That Chiron in Aries, there is that urge to do something with your healing knowledge that the Pluto in Capricorn has unearthed, released, removed the blockage to your awareness of whatever this fact is. And here, in fact, the gods that are assisting you, we have indeed Hades with the underworld, and interestingly Ma'at with justice. So there is a question here: is what is justice? What is revenge? Because this new beginning doesn't, if it's being offered by the Archons, it's not necessarily a good one. In fact, it's almost definitely not a good one. We have on the bottom row Dionysus with merrymaking, but Dionysus, or the Dionysian cult, was very much about self-transmutation. And yes, you are being called to action, but we have Thor here with action. So, Thor, Hades with the underworld, Ma'at, justice, Sheila Nagig with desperation, but she represents gateways in another of these oracle decks. And I'll get to her in a moment. And Dionysus with merrymaking. So that indicates that sense of revenge with Diti it's heavy. And that the Dionysus card is making me think about self-transformation. But I've also got in my head the line, girls just want to have fun, popped into my head. So don't fall for the trap of you showing them with this new opportunity, whatever it is. Just go and enjoy yourself and get transmutation through actually having a good time, not focusing on a previous bad time. There's this renewal and new beginnings from Osiris and the Ostra here. They feel static, like it's a new beginning exactly where you are. You're wiping the slate, you know, it offers to wipe the slate clean, but it isn't doing, because it's the same slate. Whereas Thor picks up his hammer and goes to the challenge. And with Hades giving you direction, moving obstacles out of your no, how do I phrase that? Removing obstacles to your awareness to give that sense of inner knowing. Now, Sheila Nagig used to appear to people, men, obviously, as the book said, a lustful old hag. And she would curse those who turned down her advances, but those who accepted her advance, she transformed into a beautiful woman and also made them king. You know, so there is that sense of I get it. Do not take everything on first appearances. There's a gateway opening up for you if you make the effort to see through the illusion and try and think about what's fair and what is. I mean, whoever you're tempted to get revenge on or to show, you know, is stick that in your pipe and smoke it sort of attitude. Why waste the energy with that whole attitude when you could just be going out and having fun and getting quite a transformation and sense of healing from that? So what that Ma'at is saying is, yes, look at justice, but look at a larger picture. Look at what the justice means to you. And it's not necessarily setting something right. It is having a whole new world. You go through the transformation that Hades and Sheila Nagig here and Dionysus are offering. Not transforming sort of your environment to a better one where it doesn't appear like you actually, it's cosmetic. That's what it feels like. It's static, it's cosmetic. Let's see what the tarot have to add to this. So we have Nine of Swords. So yeah, this this renewal may be something that you was wanting, but it's not going to be quite what you are after. There may be some form of combat. You know, somebody else might be wanting what this new opportunity is offering to you, and they'll fight you for it. Let them win. You know, you say you want it that bad, you go get it. You know, there's because it isn't. It appears to be materially a good thing. Okay, it appears to answer, you know, whether that's worries about finance, worries about where the next meal is coming from, the rent's coming from, but it's too much stress to go through, and for the wrong reasons. That healing that you get from it is false. All it's doing is pulling the scabs off of unhealed wounds, rather than actually getting on with the healing. You know, that these scabs should fall off naturally when it's their time. You don't just peel them off. Yes, because if you take the action that's coming from you rather than being offered from elsewhere or even imposed from elsewhere, that stands to benefit. Sun card here. It may be a balancing act of, oh, this is lovely. It may be a balancing act for you to accept and process whatever this hurt is, whatever it is that they are, that the archons here are able to latch onto and like pull at your heartstrings in a bad way, and say, yeah, you want to do this because that will show them. They're doing you a favour in the terms of you being able to go, you know, actually, yeah, I'm really sore about that. I am really, really sore about that. But that's the end of the favour there. Because then you go, okay, I was hurt in this circumstance. I was annoyed in this circumstance. I was done badly to, or what have you. Right, how am I going to move forward? They are not really offering a forward. They are a renewing of the environment. Whereas if you are aware that you have this, because it's almost like it is a revelation coming up with Two of Pentacles with Hades here. It's almost like it's a revelation of, actually, yeah, I'm really sore about that. I haven't quite processed all of this. But to set things right, that's a burden that you need to take on and not put onto other people. And this renewal doesn't solve that burden for you. The healing is in the space of Four of Swords here, is in the space of enjoying yourself, basically, your Dionysus, and going through that personal transformation, one that Sheila Nagig, remember, she confers royalty. Last night I was with a friend, and we visited the Newgrounds website. It's been going for years, because I wanted to show him an old cartoon, sort of the Toast King. On the Moon, it's called, and heat induces royalty, therefore he is king. And there's that feeling here with this, not necessarily of heat inducing royalty, but personal action inducing a personal royalty, a personal majesty, a personal mastery, which here by the Queen of Swords is achieved not by taking new things on with this new beginning, but by actually getting rid of a few things. One of those things being this, bringing that pain up of where you are sore about something to go, you know what? Yeah, I'm sore about it, but really, does it matter? I'm willing to take on the burden to fix this and set things right. But the only way you can set things right here is within your own head, within your own underworld landscape. And this Queen of Swords is rather telling me that there's the point where you just go, yeah, enough of that. So that's what the gods are offering. And that's like, it's harder work. You know, a 10 of Wands is always going to be harder work than just a 10 of Pentacles landing in your lap. But that 10 of Pentacles hasn't got that healing capacity. You know, it might solve a couple of months' bills, but it's not going to bring that transmutation around in your life. It might show them, but by showing them in that way, all you are doing is perpetuating that soreness that you are feeling, rather than just going, you know, does it really matter? And even if it does, I can work to get rid. And working to get rid is the better idea here. That's not easy to say. And the reason I'm going on all of this as well is the 2 angel cards. We have the angel of the essence of love. Let love be the center of my life. So if you're trying to get revenge or to show them, whatever that means, that's not love. It's very ego-based. It may feel great for a short amount of time, but there's no lasting benefit to it. And then we've got Nithaya, with spiritual wisdom. And interestingly, on the bottom, Glasiolabilas, here representing black magic. But Glasiolabilas, I remember, is also quite useful for love magic. So, yeah, you want to cast your own love spell on yourself. And how you do that is by recognizing this hurt, balancing what you need to heal and what you just need to get rid of and go, you know, I really shouldn't let that bother me anymore. Okay, Leo, so if that means anything to you, good luck with this. Comment down below. There'll be more reading soon. See you later. Cheers.